Hiya, so this time we were going to talk about um, matching. So, one of our previous videos, we talked all the way up to panel to be approved as adopters, where we were approved to adopt um, two children, siblings, but slightly older. And then we moved into the matching process. So, the first thing we started to do was the link maker profile, wasn't it?
Yeah, link maker is a strange thing. This is going to be a very crass way of putting it, but it's like the Argos catalogue of adoption, isn't it? Because it has all these children that want a loving home. No, Tinder, that would be the one, wouldn't it? It'd be
Yeah,
like
more like a
Tinder,
dating
more like a
profiles.
dating profile. You're literally looking at these things and you're just swiping yes, no, yes, no. And then
Well, you're not
obviously
quite doing that, are you? Because you're looking at lots of different things.
you are looking at lots of different things, but you're also reading between the lines. So when they say this child's bubbly, very, very lively, very, very active, loves running around, you're kind of thinking there's probably something more to that profile because they give you very limited information.
I remember when we were setting the profile up, we picked our photos because there's a bit of it. You're selling yourself to the children's social workers, and so we picked our photos. And then I remember we made a video.
And we got told we're not making a documentary.
Yeah, social worker said we were more fun than the video because we were like really serious in the video, so we had to do it again, didn't we?
Mm.
Um, but I remember looking at it, and you're looking, and you have like conversations about, well, definitely not them, and some of it you don't really know why, but some of it you do know why. And you've had a honest conversation when you're doing stage two about what you could take on. So
Mm.
what sort of, are there any disabilities that you would take on or wouldn't take on? And there's loads of that stuff that you're going through. And so when you're looking at the profiles, you're looking at that. And so that makes it weird, doesn't it? Looking at those, and just after you've been approved as adopters, you're looking, certainly with the agency we with, just at the children in that agency, aren't you?
Yeah, for the first 3 months, I think the one thing that was very strange for us is, and this is where it goes back to being honest and giving the social worker as much information as possible. Because when we'd gone through the panel, we'd had to go through to say that we wanted to continue with stage three, which is the matching process. And our children's names, who we eventually adopted, was already placed against our names. Um, but he has an irritating thing of being able to read upside down and saw our kids' names, and we just
I saw them written on a piece of paper. It wasn't next to our name,
okay.
so it was written on a piece of paper.
So the idea was already there, but
But
it
yeah, so we went through, and we
mm,
we went to look through the profiles, and there was one group of siblings, two siblings, well, a sibling pair.
yes,
Couldn't think of the right way to say that. Then. A sibling pair who we thought were interesting.
and we'd expressed an interest in them
Not the children that we've got.
because I have a confession to make. When I first saw the picture of our son, I saw his eyebrows and went, "Oh, he looks a bit dodgy." Um,
Should
yeah,
have listened to that. But so we went, and I remember it was at we were at an evening event on foster for adoption or early permanence,
mm,
and when we first saw that profile on a
mm,
piece of paper in the room, and then so we started looking, and then just after, well, we went on holiday,
mm.
but then just after we came back from holiday, um, just as COVID was starting, just before COVID started, we went to an activity day, didn't we? Which is a really
Again,
weird experience.
it's not a natural experience. You have all these prospective adopters in a room, and all you can hear is the children in the far corner, and you're kind of eyeing each other up because, in a way, it's a competition. Who can show that they are the best parent for that, for those child or that baby, whatever you're choosing to adopt? And it just didn't feel natural. And I never forget when all the kids come running in, that's when for me it was like, my God, we are really doing this now.
Hmm. Yeah, because we were waiting in the conservatory at the side of the building, weren't we? And then we had to go into the main room, and so all the kids are there with their foster carers and the kids who are now our kids had their independent reviewing officer with them and the
Mm.
foster carers. But as like grown-ups in that room, you don't quite know what you're doing, do you? Because
No.
you're talking to people and stuff, and as we talked in our intro video about the fact that we've got expressed an interest in this other pair of children. And so we had meetings about them on that day, and that talking to the social worker and things, and that was really tough when we knew that we weren't going to go ahead.
Yeah,
with
that
it.
there, like I think, like we previously said, there was just nothing. There was nothing there, and then obviously we eventually expressed an interest in the two that we did meet, baked beans and butterflies. But even that was really stressful because we wasn't the only couple that had expressed an interest in our two kids.
No, I think there were 8, and it took quite a long time. And we know that one of the other couples who'd expressed an interest was a couple that we were on the parenting course with, or either the parenting course or prep course, and I can't remember which. But we were still in a WhatsApp group with them about what was happening, and they were sort of saying things, and we were not saying anything. But it was quite tough, wasn't it, at that point?
Yeah, because we already found out that we was the parents of choice for the two that we've eventually adopted. So we're with this couple who we know had expressed an interest, and she's, I'm waiting to hear, blah blah blah, and we're sitting there going,
Yeah.
we know the news that's coming your way.
But before we got to that parents' choice bit, we had meetings with
Endless
the kids'
meetings.
social worker, the family finder, our
Yeah.
social worker. So there was a load of meetings there. And one of the things that was fed back to us actually was that when we met the kids and we were talking to the IRO and the foster carer, we were interested in both of them. So we were talking about both children to the IRO and the foster carer. And some of the other people were much more interested in our daughter as opposed to our son, or the other way around. So they weren't balanced, and we were really balanced in trying to find out about both of them, weren't we?
I think when you looking at your matching is you need to make sure, are they right for you? Will those children, because as adoptive parents we have the luxury of molding the family to what we want. So will the children fit in with your family? Will they fit in with other children within your family? Will they integrate within the family unit? We was very fortunate. Ours,
but we found that out through a whole series of more meetings, didn't we? Like with again with the kids' social worker, with the foster carers, with all sorts of people, doctors. We had all of that, and then they were pulling together the report that went to the second panel. And that panel for us was a virtual one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was another quite stressy experience, particularly with it being virtual, I think. Quite similar to the first panel in lots of ways, but that's where they were making the decision as to whether we'd be matched.
And I think the last part of the matching process is obviously, having to again go to panel. And this time for us, it was during the pandemic, so everything was virtual. We had to join this meeting, log off the meeting, and then
wait for a phone call.
Wait for a phone call, then log back in. It was just bizarre. But anyway, that's matching. I mean, we could talk about it for ages because there's so much. So if you do have any questions about what it's like going through the matching process or how you navigate any of the matching process, then obviously click on and give us a DM. But again, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, you want to do more, or you want to know more, then follow, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that like button.